Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Aubrey. I am the owner of Aubrey Law. We are an estate planning law firm, and I am so happy to be here with you today. And today's topic is a trust right for you? But before we get started, if you have any questions about trust or about estate planning, you can go to estateplanningmeeting.com and schedule a time to talk with me for free. Again, that website is estateplanningmeeting.com. Go there. You'll see my schedule. You're able to pick a time that works best for you, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have regarding estate planning. So today's topic is a trust right for you? When you go to meet with an estate planning attorney or you think about creating your estate plan, there are some basic documents that you definitely need to have, and I've talked about those in the past. Those are being a will, a healthcare proxy, a durable power of attorney. There's also the HIPAA authorization, and then obviously a living will as well. Then the question often becomes when I talk with clients is, do we want to add a trust? And some people don't really know what trusts do or why someone would need a trust, or they may think that trusts are only for people who have, a large amount of assets. And I really want to talk about today is how a trust could be right for you, or some reasons why people would want to add a trust to their estate plan. So first, I'm just going to talk about what a trust is. And really what a trust is, it's a legal arrangement where you transfer property by the grantor, which would be, if you're creating a trust, you would be the grantor, where you transfer that property from you to the trustee for the benefit of your beneficiaries. And your beneficiaries can be whoever you want them to be. If you have children, they can be your children. If you want the beneficiary to be a certain organization, you can do that as well. So really, you have a lot of flexibility on who you transfer those assets to. They don't have to be family members if you don't want them to be, but people often use a trust to pass their assets from them to their children. So the main thing that a trust allows you to do is have control. It allows you to control your assets while you're living. It also allows you to control how your assets are distributed after you die. So while you're living, assets are held in trust. You're able to use them as if your own in the most common type of trust, which is a revocable trust or revocable living trust, as they're often referred to, is that if you put assets into a revocable living trust, then you can control those assets while you're alive as if they are own. You can do whatever you want. If it's a real property and you want to sell it, then you can sell it. If you want to buy additional properties and put them in trust, you can do that as well. There's a lot of flexibility. And you can kind of pretty much do whatever you want. Another way that a trust helps you while you're living is that if you're incapacitated, the assets held in trust will be controlled by the trust. So if the trust is properly drafted and there's provisions in there to say what happens when you're incapacitated, then those assets held in trust while you're incapacitated will be controlled by the trustee, and then they'll be able to be managed by the trustee as if you were the one managing them, so if you're unable to do that. So that's one benefit of having a trust, so that's the control from while you're living. And then when you die, you also control how those assets are distributed to your beneficiaries. And if those beneficiaries are your children, you get to decide how and when your children receive those assets. You may want it to be that they don't receive their assets until they reach a certain age because you don't feel they have the maturity to handle receiving any sum of money while they're before they reach that certain age. So you're able to do that. You're also able to stagger when they receive those assets. So basically, if you wanted to do it, they receive a portion of their assets from the trust at age 25, and then another portion at age 30, and another portion at age 40. You can do that as well. You have so much flexibility on how you can do that, so you can always control how and when they receive it. Another thing that a trust will do for you, and maybe something that you want to consider, is that it does offer protection. And the way it offers protection is it offers protection to your beneficiaries. While those assets are held in trust and the beneficiaries don't have access to those assets, then those assets are protected from creditors, and they're also protected from the beneficiaries themselves, from maybe spending them in a way that you don't feel is appropriate. Or if you make sure you can use your trust to control how they spend that money. Is it for education? Is it for help for down payment on a house? Whatever the case may be, you can control how those assets are passed on. So as you can see, a trust can be a very powerful document in your estate plan because of the way it allows you to control how things are done. So really that's kind of the reason, some things about trust. And the things that trusts do is that they help you avoid probate. Sometimes probate can be a messy situation. It can take years to probate assets of a person who has died. So anything held in trust will be able to avoid the probate process. So the transfer of those assets is already taken place because when you created the trust, so you don't have to worry about being appointed a trust representative and then going through the process of transferring those assets to the intended parties. Another thing about probate is that probate is a public hearing. So you can go to the court and get records on probate, and that there is no privacy. So if you do want privacy with regard to how your assets are distributed, then a trust is something that you would need to create in order to have that privacy, because trusts are not public record. You cannot go to a central repository and see who has a trust and what the terms of the trust are and who the beneficiaries are. So all those things are kept private. So if that's something that's concerning to you, then a trust would definitely be something that you want to think about. And then also too is that you can use trust for tax planning, and that's as a way to either reduce, defer, or in some way avoid estate taxes. So you can also use trust for those. So there's a lot of different ways you can use a trust, and the type of trust that you would need really depends on the specific circumstances of how you want to use that trust and what that trust will be used for. And that's something you can talk with an estate planning attorney about to see what type of a trust is appropriate for you. So just to recap, trusts are a great tool to use in estate planning. The main thing that they do offer you is they allow you to have control over your assets while you're alive, control over how your assets are distributed after your death. A trust also offers privacy from the probate process, and it can also offer protections to the beneficiaries, from creditors and from themselves. So if you have questions about trust, you can always contact me or contact an estate planning attorney to see if a trust is right for you. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you know someone that could benefit from seeing this video, please share this with them. If you want to hear more from me about estate planning, you can subscribe to my channel. And any questions or comments that you have, you can leave them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And again, you can go to estateplanning.com and ask all the questions you want about trusts. Again, go to estateplanning.com. You can schedule time to talk with me. I'll answer all the questions that you have. So if you have there, go to that website and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Once again, my name is Scott Aubrey. I'm the owner of Aubrey Law. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon.